on. I think I got this on survival.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's live.
Uh,
Oh, trying to make sure that everything's going.
uh,
All right, so we're good on that. Oh, there we go. I knew I was hearing something. There we go. Let's get into recording. Alrighty. Which reel is he? All right, hold on. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get things squared away. Had to be this one. Doesn't say which one. All right. Well, okay. I think we got everything. I think everything's streaming the way it's supposed to be. So that's good. Cause it's almost like you're having strike. Oh yeah, that's right. Need to publish saying that I'm online. Alright, cool. Now, let us actually start getting into this. Alright. Hello, everyone. My name is Commissar Hecht. I hope everything is doing well. I hope everyone is doing well, and I hope everything is going well for you guys. We're nearing the end of the year. We still got December to go. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I very much need... Oh, what happened here? Why is there blue on this backpack? Oh, that's kind of serendipitous. Look at that. It's like a stripe of blue on the backpack. Oh. It's almost like a perfect stripe of blue. Did Bree get into my models by accident? Well, not by accident. She would have done it on purpose. Well, not on purpose, but you know what I mean. Well, that's a quick fix. That's a quick fix. Maybe Brianna did. Maybe she was just feeling the muse. Which is okay. That's alright. My models are to be played with and painted on. That's okay. It's alright. No big deal. Where is the commando khaki? There it is. Let's just fix that. Oh, well, we have our first bot on Kick. Let's get rid of that one. You want to be popular? Go to this website. Give us your credit card, and we'll give you followers. No, thank you. Piss off. I do not need that kind of compromised stuff. No, thank you. Anyway, as I was saying, sorry, that was on Kick. I do stream on Kick if you prefer Kick. I'm not monetized on Kick, so I'm not running ads or anything. I would like to get monetized on Kick, YouTube, and Twitch, mainly because I think all three platforms have a fairly diverse audience. But I also know that like Twitch and YouTube are like YouTube is like the kingmaker. If you are popular on YouTube, you're pretty much just good to go. Safe Scissors, thank you very much for following. Praise the Emperor. Welcome. How are you? How are you doing, Safe Scissors? Which head do we want to do? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel. I'm doing great, putting the last finishing touches on a model. I find it's easier to paint when I'm watching someone else do it. Well, what kind of models are you working on? By the way, welcome to the stream. I am so happy that you've joined me. While I not claim myself as soothing of a voice as Bob Ross, or as intellectually intelligent as that man was, because let me tell you, that man had some very, very deep thoughts. I like to think that in some small way, if I can give you joy in painting and give you joy in the hobby, then I am doing my job. And also raising money for charity and all that stuff, that's very important as well. Just finishing up an Inceptor. That is the one of the Primaris tanks, correct? Or I'm thinking of an Impulsor. I'm not as familiar. Because you have the Assault Intercessors. You have the it's one of the Gravis guys. Okay, all right. I couldn't remember exactly exactly the Primaris names are so close to one another that I struggle occasionally identifying just by name alone. It's the Space Marines with the uh 6-inch deep strike guys. Are those the ones with the jetpacks? And the either plasma guns or no, because I think those are aggressors. I want to say those are aggressors. Oh, it is. Okay, all right. Christ, I can't remember. I can't. The one thing I wish Games Workshop did better with the um, Primaris was naming them. It's the Gravis jetpacks with the plasma guns or storm bolters. Personally, like the plasma guns, but to each their own. No. I'm not. I will never shame anyone for their own for their own personal. Dear God, why are my glasses so dirty? For their own personal choices for their weapons uh, or weapon loadouts. For me, I'm a grenade launcher guy through and through. Oh, that was some skill. Oh, I don't think I could do that again. Proceeds to dump a shit ton of water on my lap. Oh, yeah. Now we're professional. We had it, but we didn't. Cleaning my glasses like this. I don't know where I kept my glasses spray. There's a particular type of specialized spray that you can use for your glasses. I don't know where the hell I put them. But yeah, I think that's the one gripe I have. Um, there we go. Now I can fucking see. Hazardous, making them 1 in 6 chance to die is funny as hell. But coming from Necrons where we don't have hazardous is definitely different, but I like it. So I'm assuming your first army was Necrons? Yeah, we're gonna do that one. 6K! Oh my god. That's pretty impressive. I think we don't have a lot of stuff. Variety of main battle line? No, but you do have a lot of things that are a pain in the ass to deal with. Ghost Sarks are fucking awful. I thought Flayers had charge in advance or advance in charge, and I thought Flayers had charge in advance, or maybe they had deep strike and charge, something like that. Flayers I knew, or they used to. Wraiths I thought had charge in advance too. Wraiths were some bullshit, let me tell you. Flayed ones have the hitting as if they were a unit. as if they were the unit attacking, is at half health or less. It's criticals, which are sustained. Okay. I seriously thought flayed ones had. It was either flayed ones or wraiths that had the charge and assault rule. Wraiths have hitting where if they move over you, they deal mortal wounds. Okay. All right. Well, as I was, maybe it was in later or earlier editions that wraiths had charge and advance, or advance and charge. We only had one source of fights first, and now it's legends. Yeah, well, a lot of things moved to legends, which is such a shame. Like I get why Games Workshop moved a lot of models to Legends because they didn't want to support the model range anymore or whatever the case is, but it's such a pain in the ass. Yeah, we were doing Kitty and Fleshtone. But I'm glad I get to help you finish your Inceptor. As I was saying, we lost 3 epic heroes, man. I know. But as I was saying when I was while we were chatting, um, I wish they had done a little bit of different naming conventions for the Primaris. Oh, shh. Mainly because a lot of their units sound pretty much the same. Impulsor, Repulsor, Inceptor, Intercessor, Heavy Intercessor. The only thing that doesn't sound really the same are the Eliminators, which are the Meltaguns, and uh, the Reavers. Oh, and the Eradicators. Well, I guess the Eradicators are similar to the Eliminators, but still. Yeah, Necrons did lose a lot of characters. So did the Guard, for that matter. The Desolation Squad, I guess. Oh yeah, that one. Yeah, the Guard lost a lot too. Hell, an entire. Oh wait, no, there's the Devastator Squad too. Never mind. Well, Devastator Squad was firstborn Marines. Devastator Squad was firstborn, like Devastator Squad was firstborn Marines. So that I don't count. But firstborn Marines, there was a little bit of distinction between units. You had your Space Marine Tactical Squad, you had your Assault Squad, you had your Devastator Squad, you had your Scout Squad, you had your um, you had your Close Combat Terminators, and then your regular Terminators, and then you had your Space Marines on bikes. Didn't the Guard lose Yorick? Yes, they did, and I'm still fucking bitter about that. Um, the fact that he was killed, quote unquote, off camera, um, and was given an unceremonious death, really, really cheeses my cracker. Um, it just, oh my god, that infuriates me to no end. I love that guy. A lot of people did. Not okay. So I understand why they got rid of Commissar Yarick. because even if old age finally did him in, by the time of the third war for Armageddon, when he's fighting Gazcol for, I think it's the second time, because the first time it was Hades Hive. Yeah, first war of Armageddon was Angron. Second war of Armageddon was Yarick at Hades Hive. Then you have Golgotha, where he gets captured by Gazcol, then released by Gazcol, and then you have the third war of Armageddon, which is him fighting Gazcol all over the planet, and that's technically when the book Hell's Reach started, or debuts Yarick from the Black Library, but it focuses on uh, not Hades Hive, but Hell's Reach, obviously Hell's Reach Hive. Um, but the point I'm getting at, right, is that if, depending on the timeline, on the Imperial timeline of the Third War of Armageddon, the man's almost 500 years old. Like, he's literally, asides Inquisitors, he is quite literally the oldest Imperial Guardsman ever. You know, ever in the history of the Imperial Guard. Um, and like I said, it's 500 years if you take. So here's the thing about the Imperium. The Imperium sucks at keeping time. The Imperium really does suck about keeping time and telling you when something actually happened. The Imperial calendar and they discuss this actually in Plague War when Gilliman wakes up. The Imperial calendar is a suggestion. They say it's M41, right? In most cases, right? Whenever you see the three numbers preceding M41, right? Um, what it's saying is that that's like, for example, the Siege of Cadia, right? The Siege of Cadia starts in 999, right? 999 M41. That's the technically the 13th Black Crusade, before Abaddon throws the Blackstone Fortress into Cadia and cracking the planet, right? Um, in I think it's in Dark Imperium or in Plague War when Gilliman's trying to figure out what's going on with the Imperium and trying to figure out the exact timeline of what happened between him getting wounded by Fulgrim and going into stasis. He's like, I think he's talking to Tetrarch Decimus Felix, or he's talking to Frater Matthew, or Militant Apostolic Matthew, because he was a Frater. Um, and he's like, I do not understand how the Imperium can't figure out what day it is, let alone the year. Right? So he, I'm being a little bit reductive in his outrage, but he's very upset that he can't figure out an exact timeline because everything conflicts. And going back to Yarick, the um, the fact of the matter is that Yarick, if you take the timeline quite literally, what they present in the Codex, Yarick is almost 500 years old by the start of the Third War of Armageddon. Do the orcs know that he's dead, or do they find out and are they going to be pissed? So they don't really go into that. They have zero clue. They don't, like, a lot of people were like, oh, maybe they'll advance the orc storyline and we'll have orc versus Angron. but I do have the Armageddon Codex, or sorry, the Armageddon campaign book. Um, my headcanon is Yarrick isn't dead. He's just with Trazen now. Joe, just like Uskar Creed and Jarrus Kell. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Funny, but no, it's been confirmed that he was killed by Angron. As a matter of fact, if you look on Angron's model, there is a suspiciously looking skull with a bionic eye where Yarick's bionic eye is. Now, granted, bionic eyes are all over the place um, in 40k, but that is a deliberate design choice by uh, Games Workshop to include that particular skull on Angron's belt. Doesn't mean that he doesn't have his corpse. Um, Trazen doesn't collect corpses. He collects live things. I get what you're saying, and I kind of like the headcanon, but the one thing that Trazen hates is um dead things. He wants live things. In his entire uh basically British Museum of Space, um everything's alive. It's just in stasis. Now, if it's conscious in stasis, we don't know, but everything's alive. He does have some dead things though. No, I think you're confusing an extinct species versus a dead species, right? Like a corpse. I think everything in his vault is alive. I mean, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think if during in the book in the Infinite and the Divine, which is basically Trays in the Infinite versus Orc in the Divine. Um, that's a book that you should really read if you like Necrons. I think it goes into the fact that within his Tesseract vaults, I think Trazen was boasting that a lot of the stuff that he has is technically still living. The only things that I think he said the only things that aren't living are like artifacts, like actual like ancient, like actual like artifact, like technology or art or whatever. But I think his specimens are all living because at one he has a dead enslaver. Oh, okay. Well, maybe he did have to kill that one, but I because in one book I don't know if it's in the divine the Infinite and the Divine or if it's in another book or if it's in like the Fall of Cadia um or if it's like the Fall of Cadia where like when he showed up um to help try and supercharge the Cadian pylons, he was chucking out Imperial Guard regiments like they were Pokeballs. Like he was there were ancient Imperial Guard regiments he was feeding chaos like they were Pokeballs. Like I think in his museum, in his Tesseract vault, he has like 5 or 6 different well-known important Imperial Guard regiments and a Space Marine chapter. I mean, we do know that he has a Thunder Warrior. That has been seen in the animated series. Uh, I would I wouldn't be surprised if he has Ferrus Manus's corpse. It's a very important piece of his history, even though it's just a corpse. Um, he doesn't. He does not have Ferrus Manus's body. As far as we know, it was recovered after the Battle of Istavan, after the Drop Site Massacre. As far as we know. Now we don't know who recovered it, but it's been alluded to that the Iron Hands have the body. It's been hinted at, I should say, that the Iron Hands have the body of Ferrus Manus. Now that's not saying that Trazen may not want to collect it, but as far as I know, he'd probably just want his hands. As far as I know, I think the Iron Hands. I think it's been heavily hinted. Actually, you know what? I'm going to look that up so I'm not talking out of my hat. Who collected? Who has Ferrus Manus? Oh, head. Well, I was wrong. I was half right. So, it was dismembered after his death. Parts of it were taken as trophies by the Traitor Legion. His head was given to Horus and later recovered by the Iron Hands, but the Iron Hands also retrieved one of his metallic arms, uh, which was used to create a robot effigy, which was later destroyed by the Primarch Vulcan. Um, yeah, so Ferrus Manus's body is not recoverable. Uh, yeah, the Iron Hands have his head. The rest of the body is unknown, and then one of his arms is unaccounted for. So allow me to correct myself. I like to be able I like to be able to speak with some satisfaction. His hands are after all Necron in origin. Yeah, his hands and arms are definitely. I mean, I wouldn't say it's full necrodermis, but it's pretty damn close. Pretty damn close to necrodermis. And whatever else material there was when he did it. But yeah, I don't think I don't think yeah, I don't think Trazen would collect, or I don't think Trazen uh, would have collected Yarick. Um, but yeah, as far as the orcs know, that Games Workshop were never really kind of given us anything concrete about uh, if the orcs know that Yarick got killed by Angron. Um, and if they know or don't know, or if they are going to actually do something about it. I would think and I would hope that Games Workshop wouldn't leave such an awesome fucking story hook as, Gazkul finding out that Yarick's dead by Angron's hand, and Yarick, or then Angron going on an absolutely fucking murder quest uh, to make Angron quite uncomfortable. Um, for the crime of killing his quote unquote, best, the oddest Umi that ever lived, right? So I think that Games Workshop should go and expand on that. I really do. But whether or not they do or not is, unfortunately, neither here nor there. I wish they do, because it'd be really fucking cool if they did. It'd be it'd be awesome if they did, in my opinion, because then it shows how dedicated the orcs are to the idea of someone orky. And wanting to have a proper fight. But alas, we will never know. Okay, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, almost the correct amount of heads I need. Kind of cool. So we're at 24. Do we have any spare heads kicking around in here? Probably not, but you never know. Ooh, what is you? Oh, is that for my... Hold on. Can I just? Ooh. Oh, hold on, hold on. We're gonna cook with something real quick. Hold on. Just 2 seconds. Ooh. I like what I'm seeing. Hold on, hold on. I was okay. Gotta shave that side off. I was building a Lehman Russ demolisher earlier today, or not today, but earlier this year, and I kind of wanted to do an extended barrel of the demolisher because I wanted it to be slightly different than the standard pattern because this demolisher was from Terra and it was based off of an older demolisher pattern. And I just wanted to give it just a little bit of a longer barrel. And if I can do that and it look kind of natural, that would be really cool. Come on. Because if I can pull that off, it would be an homage to my first demolisher that didn't have all the fucking cannon assemblies. And so I had to literally modify it to make it look like another Lehman Russ. Oh, oh, we have magic. Ah, son of a bitch. Oh my god, we're getting there. Yeah, it really does. Oh, oh no way. Oh, look at that. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Hi, Mark. How are you doing? I like that. I like that. I think that that's a good modification off of a Lehman Russ demolisher. What do you guys think? All right, all right. So, option one or option two, right? Original Lehman Russ demolisher modified Lehman Russ demolisher. I think this kind of looks a little better. What do you guys think? Because the other idea that I had, right? This was the other idea I had. But I hadn't made a decision on it. Was I was going to put a barrel, right, from the Rogaldorn, like that. So it would look, if I can, so it would look kind of like that. Right, there's the demolisher, and then it would have the barrel break in front of it a little bit. But I like this better. I love the extension piece. I didn't think about it. I just saw it and I was like, oh, I could make use of that. So it's either ah, and it's just enough. Um, it's just enough to where I can hide some of the cracking of the plastic. But it was either this piece right here that I was going to use, or the barrel brake, the muzzle brakes. You know. So, because the question is that like I'll try and show you what the vision is. Like it would look like this, kind of, with the muzzle brake just sticking out a little bit. It would look like that almost. Or we do this extension bit. Oh. I don't know. Another bot. I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't know. Is like it's kind of a good idea. Oh man, now I got to make decisions. All right. Well, I like what I just saw there, so we'll just put that right there for right now. I like what I saw there. Whether or not we'll action on it is a totally different thing. All right. I like it too. Corwin Loa. Okay, so which one are you talking about? Are you talking about? All right, so we're gonna talk about this. So let's just put this turret off. So obviously Lehman Russ Demolisher, right? Now, the reason why I'm kind of excited about this is because I'm currently doing an Imperial Guard revamp, right, of my Imperial Guard army. Do I have my I don't. I don't think I have it. No, I don't have it right now. So, when the Lehman Russ Demolisher came out for the Imperial Guard, it had a metal turret or a metal cannon piece. That metal cannon piece wasn't fully finished. So what I did was I built it. It didn't have this barrel assembly piece right here. It only had the beginning of the barrel assembly piece. So what I did was I stuck a Lehman Russ battle cannon part on it to finish the Lehman Russ Demolisher. And then I just made it a Lehman Russ Demolisher that had a variation on it for my army. So now that I'm doing my Imperial Guard army revamp, they don't do plastic demolishers anymore, which is fine, or metal demolishers anymore, which is fine. But I have this plastic demolisher, but I wanted to do kind of an homage to it. So my first idea was to do this extension, which is, if I can line it up appropriately, which would be, oh God, come on, line it up appropriately. Oh, actually, better yet. Other way. So it would have the muzzle brake. Oh God, I gotta think. There we go. I'd chop off a little bit of this muzzle brake right here. Right? I chop off this muzzle brake, right, and then glue it to the barrel to make it an extension, right? And it would look like just if I can get it to work, it would look like something like this. Right? But it would just, it wouldn't be fully poking out. It'd be kind of like that. Right? Integral to the piece, but actually looking like that. But just recently, I found this nubbin piece that almost fit completely. And so I just spent some time to shave it down. And it looks like that. And I kind of like this a little. I can get it to make it even. And I like this a little bit better. So option 2 is this one. Option 3 is a regular demolisher barrel. And then option 1 is cut the barrel, one of the muzzle brakes on here and glue it here. Right? So it would look like something to the extent of this. Definitely option 2. So we're talking this one. when I saw it, I was just like, oh my god, it works, and it does, and it's slightly different. It's just different enough to where I can say, oh, this is the Terran version of the Lehman Russ Demolisher. Yeah, yeah, okay, all right, because like you just throw on the rest of the bits, right, and there you have it. You know what it actually reminds me of now that I'm thinking about it? It almost looks like the old Conqueror, the Lehman Russ Conqueror. Now that I'm looking at it, hold on, Lehman Russ Conqueror. Yeah, it's not entirely the Conqueror style barrel, but it's pretty damn close. Yeah, now that I look at it, it's almost like the Conqueror. But again, it's pretty damn close. The Conqueror had a longer barrel that lessened. This one bulges and then comes out again. I like it. I'm glad everyone else likes it. But oh man, a happy, happy discovery. Happy discovery. I like it. All right, let's slap the table and make that happen. We're just going to put that right there. Hello, what are we building? Well, we were just talking about a modification of a Lehman Russ Demolisher, but we are painting heads. We're painting we're painting heads right now. Same. Okay, all right, good. I'm glad that we are in agreement. We have an accord. By the way, Corwin Loa and Reed Gilligan, thank you very much for joining me. It's always lovely to have new, but Calaxian. Like what faction? Well, we're doing Imperial Guard. I prefer option two, but both I bet would work out well. Okay, well, I'm glad. I'm glad. We're doing Imperial Guard. But thank you all for joining. It makes me very happy that you guys want to are interested in what I'm providing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna slap the table on that one. Ooh, nice. Horus Heresy, or well, we're talking Imperial Guard, so it's not heresy because the Imperial Guard didn't exist in the heresy. It was the Solar the Solar Auxilia. No, we're talking about 40K. And seeing as you guys are curious, well, Mark's seen this already. I posted some good lads I assembled and painted over the weekend. I did see your Uruks. I did see your Uruks. Are you getting an Age of Sigmar? No hate. I'm just genuinely curious. They are very yellow, by the way. Like, that is fantastic work on that yellow. It's almost outrageously yellow. A very like early 90s. They're pretty much the same. I just call them Imperial Guard either way. I never knew there was a difference. Well, there is a major difference in the lore. For those of you that don't know the difference between the Solar Auxilia and the Imperial Guard, um, the uh, Imperial, the Solar Auxilia covered the Imperial Navy and what would be the Imperial Guard, and the Solar Auxilia wasn't an independent faction. The Solar Auxilia was modified um, to what's it called? Was modified or was to modify Legionnaire Astartes units. Um, that is the difference. Man, this is making me want to work on my guard now. So, um, after the heresy, the Imperial Guard was formed. And the Imperial Guard was separated from the Imperial Navy. And the Imperial Navy was separated from the Adeptus Astartes. Uh, and the Departmentum Minitorum and the Adeptus Administratum separated even further. So when you talk about uh, the Solar Auxilia, the Solar Auxilia is literally the depending on the. Thanks for streaming. No, no worries, no worries. The Solar Auxilia was literally the human elements, the non-transhuman elements, i.e., the Space Marines that served uh, in the heresy, and they were pulled from the planets of Ultramar. They were pulled from the planets of Nocturne. They were pulled from all of the original founding planets. There were Terran Solar Auxilia, but that was only after the Imperial army kind of transformed at the start of the Great Crusade into the Solar Auxilia. So yeah, um, there's a lot of day and night difference between the 30k human elements of Warhammer versus the 40k human elements of Warhammer. The Navy is separate from the Imperial Guard. The Imperial Guard separate from the Adeptus Astartes. The Adeptus Astartes is separate from the Imperial Navy. The only reason why the Adeptus Astartes has a um, Imperial, the only reason why the Adeptus Astartes has a fleet or controls their own fleet elements is because um, uh, during the breakup, um, Gilliman knew that the heat that the Space Marines needed to have an um, independent fleet abilities because some of the chapters lost their homeworlds, so they were forced to become fleet based. And it was by no fault of their own. They just happened to lose their planets. But anyway, you guys wanted to see what I was working on and kind of the final product. So, we are working on Terran Imperial Guard. So, my Imperial Guard regiment, is from Terra. So, they are exclusively Terran born. Whether they are pilgrims trying to gain access to the holy sites, or whether they are like third or fourth sons from the Caliban moment. I mean, yeah, I mean that's true. Whether they are third, fourth, fifth, sixth sons of nobility of noble families, or third, fourth, fifth, sixth daughters from imperial families, uh, they form the every imperial planet has to pay the imperial tithe, and Terra consumes all of the imperial tithe. So the only thing that they can produce effectively are Imperial Guard regiments to serve the Imperial tithe, because Terra is literally, their population is measured in the quadrillions. So, in order to be loyal, sufficiently loyal to the Emperor and the Imperium, the Pilgrim population and the Terran noble population uh, basically give sons and daughters to the Terran Imperial Guard, and so this is the color scheme that I'm going with. Uh, Nobles are normally officers, but there are enlisted that rise to the ranks. But if you are an officer, you wear your storm coats, which is a blue. The gold represents that they are officers. Silver represents that they are, or sorry, gold represents that they are officers from the nobility. If they have a silver outlining, they are enlisted that became officers. Nice paint job. Well, thank you. But this is also based off of the old Vietnam uniform style of Air Force Security Police, particularly the 1041st Security Police Test Squadron and Operation Safe Side. Because in Vietnam, the United States Air Force had olive drab uniforms, and the Blue Berets came after, a little bit after. I think they started from SAC, but shorthand. And we did have black equipment, black body armor, and black holsters and rifles and all that stuff. So we just kind of modified it a little bit, or I just kind of modified it a little bit. But that's the design language that I'm using. So that's the final product. Currently, we're getting there. But then after we're done with this, we are moving on to supporter gifts, which, by the way, Mark, if you're still around, by the way, I love the fact that you can run these as knobs. The Uruks. I love the fact that you could run them as knobs. That's pretty damn awesome. I'm assuming they're going to be flash gits, right? Because they're yellow. Flash git knobs, or not flash git knobs, but they're going to be flash gits Orc Clan. Or no. Bad Moons. I think it's Bad Moons that are yellow. But by the way, Casual Mark, you will have been one of the many first rank supporters of the channel. So, Bad Moons, but yes. Okay, all right. So, you and I need to have a conversation of what you want as a supporter gift. I have a bunch ready to be lined up already, but I need to know what your supporter gift would like. We can discuss this offline if you want, but I need to kind of know, because I'm going to start working on the supporter gifts after I finish this damn revamp of the infantry and whatnot. And if everyone else wants to do supporter gifts, they have to support the channel, obviously, and be regular commentators and be a part of the community and all that stuff. Casual Mark has been a supporter since almost the very beginning. So thank you very much, my man. Yeah, okay, I'll message you in Discord. Oh, of course. Thanks for clearing that up. I'm a Dark Angels and Grey Knights player. I don't know much about the Guard or the Solar Auxiliary or lore. I mean, it's... Unless you're actually, like, looking hard, everyone thinks that it's the Guard, but it's not. Like, that's the long and short of it. Unless you're actually, like, looking at the Imperial Guard and all that stuff, or looking directly at the lore, that's the long and short. Like, people forget that a lot of things changed after the heresy, and not always for the better. And a lot of it was because it's the guard unless you squint. Yeah, I mean, like I said, they still use the same equipment. The only thing that changes between the Solar Auxilia and the Guard is that they have the Malcador, they have the well, they wouldn't have the Macarius, but they have the Malcador, they have the Dracosan, they have the heavy Sentinels, assault Sentinels, and they have a few things that the Space Marines have. But yeah, as far as this guard regiment is concerned, they are Terrans. Now I got to run them as an unfortunately I got to run them as Krieg because their loadout doesn't match the Cadian requirements for a loadout, um, which kind of sucks because Cadians used to be able to take plasma pistols and power swords, but now they're only stuck taking. Um, Now their sergeants are stuck only taking lost pistols or chainsword, lost pistols, chainswords, or the auto gun, which kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like the Cadian auto gun. I think it's really dumb. Uh, I understand why it's there, and I know that it's like kind of that cool factor, but the Cadian sergeant's auto gun is just it's dumb, in my opinion. Uh, it's very little value added. Assault 3 weapon. Ooh, yay. Cool, I can move and shoot with it. I can like the guard infantry rules have changed so much. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah. Which is why I'm doing this whole revamp because there are some models that are completely invalidated. It's the tactical. Yeah, it really is tactical. Like again, don't get me wrong. Me who arms up every day occasionally arms up with an M4. But I've said this many a time. If I'm shooting at something, something has gone severely wrong. Um, for me to be actively engaging in something. The situation is literally foobar. But yeah, so now I run the Deathcore. I have to run the rules for Deathcore, even though they're not Deathcore models, because their loadout is about as close to Deathcore is closer to Deathcore than it is Cadian. Simply because all my sergeants have power swords and plasma pistols, and I refuse to give up power swords and plasma pistols because that's the best loadout a sergeant can have is a power sword and plasma pistol because you're going up against things with better armor than you. 9 times out of 10, you're going up against things with better armor. It doesn't matter if you do extra wounds with your chainsword. You're going up against things that have better armor. So you really, really want to make sure that you have stopping power. So you can disagree with me all you want about AP -1 at still strength 3, but that's an AP that they don't have. That's an armor point that they don't have. Plus, unless you're fighting sisters, most battle line infantry, power sword, plasma pistol. Plus, most battle line infantry nowadays seems to have 2 wounds apiece, so that plasma pistol really comes into help when you supercharge it, or overcharge it, I should say. Granted, it also can backfire and blow up, and you lose a model, but you know, Dems de breaks. By the way, I hope, Mark, I didn't know if you saw my Elenius Pius. Some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I am willing to make. Yeah. By the way, Mark, I didn't know if you saw my Elenius Pius lore video that I made last week or the week after, or the week before. Um, I was just curious if you had any input on that particular lore video. If you saw it, I thought it was pretty coherent, but you know, what's life without a little gamble? Hell yeah. Can't win if you don't play. I'm actually going to look forward to watching tonight. I really want to hear it. Okay, good. Good, good, good. Yeah, a little bit of a warning. It is not a polished lore video. It is just kind of me rambling about what I remember, kind of like what we're doing right now. Uh, but I think it was cohesive enough to where I was like, oh, this should be its own video. If people actually like it, I need to know. That way, and if people want to see more lore videos from me, I can make more lore videos. Now I know that there are other 90% of gamblers make it quit before they make it big. I mean, 90% of gamblers also lose everything and the farm and never make it big. Case in point, I have had this channel since 2016, and uh, it's been almost 10 years, and I'm still not like, I still haven't found that lightning within a bottle that I need to make this channel what I want it to be, which is a very powerful, very popular charity channel that donates money and all that stuff and generates the revenue so I can give that revenue to charities and kind of live off of it myself. Let's be real. If I could do this all day and talk about Warhammer and D&D and all that stuff, oh, I'd be fucking happy. Um, I'd be so happy. Um, and Star Wars and all that stuff. If I could do that for a living, oh, I'd be so happy. That's because they quit before they made it big. Ah, I don't know if quitting is the right answer. Losing every scrap of money, I don't think it's quitting. I think that's running out of I think that's running out of the liquid assets necessary to to you know operate as needed. Now, I'm not saying I haven't gambled like me myself. I think I've bought like me personally. I don't necessarily have a dog in the fight, but for me, I think the most I've ever gambled was when I bought scratch tickets. A couple of scratchers here and there. I love D&D, Warhammer, Star Wars 2. If I could do it all day, if I could. Yeah. So okay, little history about me. I've spoken about this before, but when I started this channel, originally I started it kind of as like a gee whiz, kind of a goof. This was, I think, before Critical Role was really big. Um, Real talk, you had lightning in a bottle with 8th edition. We loved your battle reports, but then you moved to Japan. Uh, and where you couldn't play. I remember you blowing up in 2017. Well, kind of. Kind of, sort of. I mean, yeah, my battle report videos were pretty popular. Hold on. Um, they were rough, and they still are. Um, but my most viewed battle reports was uh, the Death Guard versus the Harlequins, and then Grey Knights versus Tau, and then I did Tabletop Simulator when we were doing COVID, and then I did Custodes. That was 1500. Um, and then I did like a majority of the battle reports. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 battle reports were over the 1,000 view count mark, but they haven't really grown since. Right? The largest battle report was the Death Guard versus Dark Eldar Harlequins combo. Um, but most of the battle reports were below 1,000 view count. I think the least made ones were 300. No, yeah. No, I take that back. 200. No, I take that back one more time. 177. That was the lowest amount of battle reports was 177. And again, I'm not bitching. I will never ever ever complain about the limited success that I have. Um, Anyone who watches is just saying. But people say because they liked you in the community is here. Uh, um, but people stay because they like you. The community is here because of you, not just your content. True, true, and I appreciate the vote of confidence. I really do. And I want to be able to develop this community to be a good place where people feel genuine, people feel safe, people are given a place to not only enjoy the hobby as it is, but celebrate uh, their differences and celebrate um, kind of their perspective of the hobby, um, and not feel worried about it. Um, and also the fact that I really do want to raise money for charity. You know, I say it all the time. The Air Force, well, barring a government shutdown, the Air Force pays my bills. So I don't have to necessarily worry about making this a full, quote unquote, full time job. I can give back to um, charities that affect me the most and all that stuff. Um, but at the same time, also help out the community in some way, shape, or fashion. Um, and the whole reason why I started the channel was because I started it kind of on a fluke of, it'd be funny if people knew some of the jokes I was telling when I talked about D&D or whatever the case is. Um, and then it just kind of evolved from there and got a different purpose. I will say I would love to redo a live stream D&D campaign. Oh, I would love to redo it. I would love to be able to um, kind of do not a production level D&D campaign, but yeah. I think Bile took Ferris's corpse house. Would he be able to make all those clones? Um, it's not confirmed that Bile has a piece of Ferris Manus's corpse. Um, it is not confirmed. It is not denied either, but it is not confirmed. Um, I know Horus had his skull. Horus did have his skull, but now it's back with the Iron Hands. Um, it was recovered by Dorn and his troops and his chapter, the Imperial Fists. Um, but yes, at one point Horus did have his skull. Gilliman gave it to the Iron Hands when the Iron Hands decided to split their legion. I thought the Iron Hands didn't split their legion because they didn't have enough people to split the legion. Because it was the Raven Guard and the Salamanders that barely had chapter strength. I mean, it was the Raven Guard, Salamanders, and Iron Hands that made up the Shattered Legion because they didn't have enough people to make up a full uh, a full legion, let alone sorry, a full chapter, let alone a legion. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not stupid. The Horus Heresy is such a vast story. Some information could have been rewritten. Where it is. There's the quest for flesh. There's a gut-wrenching scene in the end of the death in part three where Sanguinius is basically being tortured by Horus, and Sanguinius, uh, sorry, end of the death two, and it's where Sanguinius crawls over to the skull, crawls over to the altar and sees Ferris's skull. Ah, okay. Salamanders didn't have successive chapters. Raven Guard had a couple. Iron Hands as well. Okay, all right. I knew one of the um original legions of the Drop Site Massacre got just dog walked. I mean, all of them did, but one of them was below what we would consider chapter strength today, and I couldn't remember if it was the Salamanders, the Raven Guard, or the Iron Hands. But hey, that's what happens when you trust somebody and they're lying to you. You walk into a massacre. Although I do wish the loyalist elements of the traitor legions had put up a better fight um, during the attack of Istvan 3, during the Battle of Istvan 3. Salamanders were always a small legion, but recently with the Ultima founding, they have confirmed successor chapters that they're. Don't they have isn't one of the successor chapters like Sons of the Kraken, and it's like 100%, like it's like they're like from a water world. It's like night and day from Nocturne. The only thing that kind of links them together is the fact that they hunt massive sea beasties, something like that. It was really funny because it was like, oh yes, the successor chapter of the Salamanders is the Dark Krakens. Yeah, there. Yeah, that's. It's like you got to scratch your head a little bit. It's like, where did we go wrong there? There was, I think, at one point there was some talk that the Black Dragons were a unknown successor chapter to the um. So funny story: the Loyalists and the Trade Legions got sent out first, and they got shot in the back by the traders of the same legion. That's what basically happened to Rylanor. Dude, the death of Rylanor is such a fucking God. It's such a depressing story. Oh, it's so depressing. Like, don't get me wrong. I get I get that like it was gonna happen, but it's so upsetting. Um, uh, they are suspected. Yeah, no. For some reason I thought the Black Dragons were a an unknown successor chapter to the Salamanders. They definitely like tick boxes for that shit. But then again, it is the Cursed Legion, so maybe the Salamanders didn't want to claim them exactly. But yeah, right, like God, the way that Rylanor got fucking hoed. Oh, that's so upsetting. God, that's so upsetting. One of the best stories in Warhammer literature is Rylanor's Last Stand. I mean, yeah, it is. It is. I mean, and I'm glad he went out on his own terms, but still, God, he got hoed. Oh, was I like the cursed 21st founding? Yeah, well, I mean that. I thought it was the second. No, it was the 21st. You're right. You're right. I'm an idiot. Sorry. um, no, because the second founding was after the Codex Astartes. That's right. I'm getting my lore mixed up. I know so much I forget some of it. All right, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Also, gotta rest my eyes. So what's everyone working on today? Hope everyone's doing good. I hope everyone's working on some good stuff. Oh man. All right. Where was I? Oh yes, painting. I just finished the Uruks and now I'm painting up uh an eBay rescue of a Tau Ghost Heel. Ooh, I want to see the before and after pictures of that. Oh, you know what? Before we dive back into this, I do want to see what is on eBay for rescues. I guess my biggest issue with eBay rescues is that I got it. They either have to be built and not painted. That's my only gripe. Because it's such a pain in the ass to build them or to strip them of models. I got these metal psychers for 150 bucks. No, thank you. That Chimera is pretty promising. I have some old Catachans. Yeah, baby. Some old metal model Catachans. It's kind of sad knowing that the Catachans will never get a range refresh. Like the Cadians did, the Death Corps certainly did. Of Destroying Firstborn, that's all. Those were good models. There's some solid models. I got to get off my butt. The therapist needs uh, help me motivate. I went to the gym for 30 minutes and worked on my legs. Ooh, that's very good. I stripped some Hellblasters with isopropyl alcohol and an old electric toothbrush. Worked wonders. Was trying to paint a converted a mushroom covered goblet, but by the way it looks, but it doesn't look the way I wanted it, so it's time to give it a bath. Ah, yeah. Yeah, I gotta get back on the workout bandwagon. As a matter of fact, we do have a Discord channel we do have a Discord thing in the channel. It's called the Imperial Infantryman's Lifting Primer. I haven't posted in it in a while since October 1st, but I'm perfectly fine with someone else posting in there. Help keep us get motivated to keep working out. Besides, I got to unbig my back with these new waist measurement protocols. Oh god, I fucking hate waist measurements. I always struggled with the waist. Always did. No matter how much I watched what I eat and all that stuff, I always struggled with the waist measurement. I did everything else fucking great. Uh, Dongerman 55. What are you painting? We're painting heads for Imperial Guard. And just chatting about lore and all that stuff. I mean, okay. I'm assuming you're either a Chaos player or you're a Xenos player. Yeah, I play Chaos, Thousand Suns. Yeah, what's it like being wrong? Just on every level. Because honestly, that's what the Thousand Suns are. They're just wrong on every level. And not only are they wrong on every level, they got hoed on every level too. Second to the Death Guard. No, Magnus was 100% wrong. As a matter of fact, Magnus is the only person to blame for the fact that the Thousand Suns ended up the way they were. Man, 2 for 2. What's it like knowing that the literal first captain of your company of the Death Guard betrayed them all for Nurgle's glory because he wanted to be in control? Man, two factions that got completely suckered into the chaos. Magnus had the right intentions, but went the wrong way about it. No, Magnus did not have the right intentions. Um, uh, the whole like warning the Emperor. Sure, that's what's it called. That I get, but it was the fact that even after the Council of Nicaea, he continued to experiment in warp magic even after the emperor was like, dude, this is not something we should be fucking around with until we finish the webway project. Like, I think Magnus knew a lot of the warp from the emperor, and the emperor was just like, you cannot do this. Yeah, when you create a psycho focus chapter that's based on a warp, then you take that away. It's like, what the fuck? What's that gonna do? That's all they do. It wasn't the fact that so the Emperor did not create the Thousand Suns to be psychically focused. The Terran based Thousand Suns uh were not dedicated psychers. It was the um I'm trying to think of it was the Prosperoan elements of the Thousand Suns um, uh, that were what's called. Uh, it was the Prosperoan Thousand Suns that were uh, um, more psychically attuned. There we go. That's what I was trying to say. You could be a psyker without practicing sorcery, and that's what got Magnus in trouble. Yeah, basically. And not for nothing, he made the deal with like he was already on the path to damnation when he made the deal with Zeech to begin with. Um, like when he came and he was like, "Oh, I sacrificed an eye to receive better knowledge from this mystical source that I found." He basically it was Zeech. Zeech was on his ass from day one. His number was up as soon as he did that. Um, and then, of course, what's really rich is that he was telling Ahriman, don't do the things that I am absolutely doing because it's going to bite you in the ass, and you shouldn't be experimenting the way that I've been doing. And, yeah, that's how you get oops, surprise, rubrique Marines. I was, hey, steady! Hey, man, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. You moved to Germany, if I remember correctly, yeah? Are you still in Ramstein? Please tell me you ranked up too. For those of you that don't know, Steady is one of the many people that I have worked with in the United States Air Force. So all around salt of the earth, lovely individual. Um, Probably one of the better NCOs that actually gave a shit about the people um, that I've come across. Yeah, still out here. Oh, good. How have I been? I've been okay. You know, Edwards is treating me okay. Uh, I didn't get the undershirt job that I wanted, so I'm still going to be a flight chief, much to my chagrin, because I really do want to actually get to Master Sergeant, and the only way I can do that is either become a section superintendent or get out of the career field. And unfortunately, I can't get out of the career field without moving my children and me to another place. um, so it's one of those things where I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Um, I didn't know you wanted to be a shirt. It's not that I. It's kind of weird. It's I wasn't interested in doing first sergeant duties until I basically took some time and held the first sergeant's phone for Master Sergeant Hawk, First Sergeant Hawk, uh, back in Misawa for about a month and a half, and then I kind of realized what being a first sergeant was kind of all about, and I was like, oh, it makes a little bit. I mean, I already knew tangentially, but like there was more. Now that I was able to look behind the looking glass and behind the curtain at the same time, I was like, oh, and so I've been kind of interested in it. And the opportunity came to me where I could go to the first sergeant symposium, and I did. And then shortly after, they were like, "Hey, we're gonna because Edwards doesn't have a whole bunch of first sergeants. Um, they initiated a undershirt program, and our squadron is large enough to where you can have a shirt and an undershirt at the same time." Because our shirt also covers another squadron as well. Um, so that's why I applied, and I thought I did good in my interview. I got some decent feedback in my interview, but unfortunately, it sounds like, or not unfortunately, they picked another person. Um, and this will be my third EPB as a flight sergeant. And if I ever want to see master, I need to get a job that will allow me to do the the additional stuff that people are looking for as a master sergeant, um, without needfully sacrificing my family time and all that stuff. Um, and so, uh, you know, I had a conversation with Caitlin about it, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I didn't get it, so I'm just kind of a little bummed. But that is life, and there's nothing. I can't cry over spilled milk now, so the only thing I can do is just be the best flight chief I can be until another position opens up and I get selected for it. But yeah, that's that. I'm actually thinking about, because this whole drone situation that's been going on, and how advanced drones are getting, I'm actually thinking about going to ops and saying, hey, we need to stand up S6, which is, for those of you that don't know, it's a S function, it's a section, uh, that specifically deals with cutting edge stuff. Um, maybe even go to WebTAC and do that and see if I can't spread my wings that way and see what that does. Because it seems like anyone who goes to WebTAC, they get that's a meal ticket to Mass Sergeant without any sort of preamble. But aside that, Morgan's doing great in school. Brianna's, she's in kindergarten, so there's not really a whole lot on that bandwagon. Caitlin got a new job at the VA as a VA nurse, as an LPN. Um, she's making buku money there, so everything's going good. Just career wise for me, it's kind of a dead stop, but that's okay. And I'm about to hit 17 years in, so worst case scenario, if they don't promote me to Master Sergeant by year 20, I'm punching the door. I retire. But how have you been? What have you been up to in the great world that is USAFE? I hope you've been well. Phaedros, how are you, man? Welcome, welcome. Oh, Yorick is talking in his sleep. What other careers would you be interested in? I honestly, I don't know. It's so hard because everything's now DSD, so it wouldn't be. MTL would be okay. Recruiter would be fine. Because recruiter, I could go back to, near Massachusetts at least. Um, MTL, I wouldn't want to do MTI because that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stresses to be an MTI. Not saying that, MTI wouldn't be an interesting gig, but I think that that would be very, very high stress. Woo, ads for a minute. I'm sorry, Phaedros. How was Caitlin's retirement? Caitlin's retirement was. Well, hold on. I want to make sure that the ad is not running before I talk about that. 4 seconds. There we go. Okay, all right. So how was Caitlin's retirement? Caitlin's retirement was okay. I think the last time you and I talked, they were medically retiring her. So she's got 100%. Um, it's not total and permanent just yet. She has to basically go through, I think, 10 years of evaluations, and even then, it's not guaranteed that it'll be TNP or PNT. Um, there are certain conditions that are TNP for certain, but again, that's like super rare, and hers was. Um, I think for her specifically, she has to go through, yeah, a couple more years of evaluations before they give that TNP to her. But then again, and like I said, it's not total. Or sorry, it's not that it's not total. It's not guaranteed. So I got an email confirmation that my Court of the Seven warband will be here on the 21st. Oh, cool, cool. Actually, speaking about confirmations of emails, I got this. I got this in the mail today. Oh, this is my Warhammer Plus subscription model, and it was free 90 free. So I got an Inquisitor. I don't know what I'm going to do with him, but I got an Inquisitor. I probably will build him up and paint him. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Nice, yeah. I just don't know what I'm going to do with, you know, how I'm going to end up using him and all that stuff. I know that this guy, the assassin character right here is fucking gnarly. But yeah. But yeah, it's life's been chugging. Life's been chugging along. And as kind of shitty as the setback is for not getting the shirts position, um, I if the goal is to make Master Sergeant, the goal is to make Master Sergeant, and then I can say I've hit where I wanted to be and all that stuff. I need to order mine, but my account is having issues on the website. So the last time I had to go through GW support, which was fantastic. Honestly, GW support is not that bad. If you call them, now that's the only shitty part is you have to call the GW support in England. Um, but it's not that bad. There have been plenty of times when I was in Japan and I was waiting on a shipment and the shipment never came, and so I had to call GW support, and I would talk to them and I'd be like, "Hey, look, I have this order. I gave the order number, all that stuff," and they would track it down. And they'd be like, "Oh yeah, it looks like it never made it to your place." No, no, I emailed them and they got right back to me. Oh, okay, all right, great, great. That's the one thing I do love about Games Workshop. I have a lot of gripes about GW pricing, supply problems, supply issues, all that stuff. Um, but they are solid, solid when it comes to their customer support side of the house. Like they have it down to a fucking science. Like when it comes to customer support, GW has it down to a science. Every other aspect of the of the hobby, they need to work on. Availability, pricing, stock, all that stuff. But their customer support, oh, flawless. My gas call was missing a base. They overnighted me a base. Indeed, they do have good customer support, good customer service. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So okay, Games Workshop customer service. Let me tell you a story. When the Sisters came out and when the Imperial Guard came out, I didn't receive my box set, either box set, and it was during the Christmas rush. And I thought, okay, well maybe someone ganked it, because it happens. You hear it all the time, and it happened to me a while back in I think it was England. We had shipped a box full of presents back to the States, and about 5 weeks goes by, and then we get a notice in the Royal Mail parcel saying that the package never made it to the United States, uh, or sorry, that the package never made it or made it to the United States, but was never delivered because we actually had a Royal Mail postage signed. And they said the reason why it was never delivered is because uh, the signature letter was marked as destroyed. So um, that was the first time that I was just like, ah, fuck, someone fucking took all of our stuff. And I thought to myself, I was like, okay, well, if someone did that, chances are they needed the toys more than the people that we were sending like stuff to. And as shitty as it was, I was like, okay, I'll forgive him. So I thought the same thing, right? When I didn't get my stuff. Turns out, when I called them, they were like, yep, we will send you the same thing right away. Um, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And so I I waited, and sure enough, I got not the first order, or not just the first order, but the second order literally on the same day. Uh, and I called Games Workshop back, and I was like, hey, this happened. Do you want me to send the replacement that you sent me back? And they go, nope, keep it. That is yours. It is our way of saying sorry that that it was misplaced for so long. And I was like, oh my god, cool. And the same thing happened with the Imperial Guard one. Uh, so when the Cadia Stands box set came out, um, I did the same thing. I reported it, and I was like, look, I haven't received it yet. It's been a month and a half since its release, and I was told I was supposed to get it within like 2 weeks. And then they turned around and they were like, yeah, you sure did. We don't know what happened to it, so we'll send it to you. And then I called them back and I was like, hey, look, the same thing happened. What do you want me to do? And they're like, nope, it's yours. It is our way of saying sorry. And I was just like, done deal. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, Games Workshop definitely will take care of customers. Like I said, the only problem is that the hobby is fucking expensive. But then again, those two were the only instances where I thought a package was lost. Yeah, it can be depending on yeah, it can be depending on how thrifty you're being. Well, no, because other times when I ordered from GW, it would come in 2 weeks, even while I was in Japan. I was driving home from school, dropping off. I was driving home from dropping off the kids for. Oh yeah, no worries, man. I was wondering to see how you were doing. I gotta go to bed now. I'll see you next stream. Yeah, it'll be tomorrow morning. It'll be tomorrow morning. I'm sorry I didn't stream tonight. Or sorry, in the morning because brother, I was suffering from a massive migraine. Oh my god, did it kick my ass? That shit sucked. Just it was appalling how bad I had a massive migraine. Holy shit. It was the worst. I'm on con leave now. Had to fix an old injury. Ooh. No, I mean looking for deals such as bargain boxes and such, especially when discounted, and you get an army and then some for the cost of an army. Oh, okay, all right, gotcha. Yeah, I haven't done bargain box diving in quite a bit. Although I will say, in Japan is big on thrift stores, and let me tell you, you can find the weirdest things in thrift stores, but you can also find some awesome gems in thrift stores. Like, um, if you were big into sporting, they had some pretty decent. The one thing that I liked about Japanese thrift stores is that if there was anything in the store, it was functional. It worked like not only was it functional, but it was refurbished to a certain point, not completely, but enough to where it it did its job. And then on top of that, um, whatever, if they did give you something that was potentially busted, uh, they would turn around and say, "Hey, we'll give you this at a discount." Whatever the case is. Like there were some nice Japanese bikes that all they needed was like a chain replacement. So, like they were pennies to the dollar cheap. Uh, or a sprocket replacement or whatever the case is. Like you could definitely. Yeah, the wife and I miss thrifting there. I know. Hell, they in all the thrift shops they had Warhammer stuff. I mean, it wasn't the greatest selection, but they had Warhammer stuff. Um, so occasionally I would go to a thrift store and I would find like a gem or two, like out of production models that were not sold anywhere else besides Japan. Uh, or there were certain models that were out of stock everywhere, um, uh, but either it was online or in the stores. But then a thrift store would have it, and I'm just be like, oh my god, yeah, absolutely. I got all my manga and anime figures there. I did some figurine dabbling. Mostly the girls loved the horse girl anime. I forget what it's called. I think it's Usa something or other. Um, they liked that, so they got mostly that, and then they liked Ray and Ram from uh, Zero Life or whatever it was called. But they liked the character. They didn't like the anime, and I wouldn't have showed them. I'm a Musume. Yeah. I'm a Musume. Yeah, there we go. But they like the characters, not yeah. ReZero. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Phaedros. Thank you for the assist. Um, they liked the character of Ray and Ram because obviously it was two girls. They were kind of twins and all that stuff. I had an uh, Evangelion model Slater that I wanted to build. I'm a weeb in my spare time. It's all right. I don't. There's no hate here. There's no hate here. Well, I'm glad. By the way, Steady, I'm glad you got your surgery on your hand, man. Hopefully that's the last surgery you have to have before and get it all sorted out. And I'm glad that they gave you convalescent leave because I know how busy Germany is, and especially Ramstein. Whoo, boy, do they get busy. Where is the pin? Oh, it's right here. I prefer mini war games to model kits and figurine statues. Some of the statues are really nice. Um, hell, I got a few anime D&D statues. I I gotta set this up a little bit better, but and I can't block this. But anyway, looking forward to the Gundam assembly next year. I do have some Gundam models. I have some Gundam models from the actual Yokosuka Gundam before they took that down. Sorry, Yokohama, not Yokosuka. Yokohama Gundam before they took that Gundam display down. So that was the last thing I did, the last thing I got. I still have those. You'll never get those anywhere else. And I'm honestly, I kind of want to keep them in the packaging. Um, but yeah, I do miss the thrift stores in Japan. Just a nice treat, and you didn't even have to buy anything really. There was just always something there. All right, bro, I got to start working on my car. Much love. Good to hear from you. Glad the family's doing well. All right, I appreciate your study and good luck on the car, man. Please do take care of the hand. You are supposed to be resting. But much love to you, my dude. Take care. Yeah, Gundam Assemble is like a tactical board game where you get to build your Gundams and such. Ah, okay. All right. What was I gonna do? Flesh. That's right. Night Quester. Where's the Capchan Flesh? It's Mornfang. I literally just had it. I was looking at it earlier. There it is. If it had teeth, it'd bite me. They pre-released some kits with their Gundam trading card game, but they had round bases instead of hexagon for the boards, uh, just as a marketing to show off the kits. Oh, okay, all right. Sorry, I got a notification. So you'll see a streamer every now and then painting one up, which is totally what Bandai hoped for. Oh, okay, I see. What's it called? A aggregate marketing campaign. Stretch. All right. All right. Well, now. Okay, so seeing as we're talking about Gundam, I know nothing of Gundam asides a handful of things, right? There was a Gundam that had a special attack called Shining Finger. Um, the main baddie in one of the Gundam series was the Principality of Zeon, or yeah, something like that. There's that olive drab, like generic Gundam model that loves that every good guy blows up. It's got the ocular, it's got the single pink or red ocular eye, and it's got the gas mask looking swim filter. Um, the Zaku, yeah, 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 yeah. But other than that, I don't know much about it. Gundam. And you would think that, me being who I am, I would love big mechs blowing up other big mechs because I grew up, kind of watching Robotech and Exo Squad and all that stuff. But uh, yeah, I wasn't really into Gundam. I tried. Don't get me wrong. I tried, but I really wasn't into Gundam. I think maybe because I was like super lost in the sauce. Exo Squad, aka the company that ripped BattleTech for some of the designs, because why not? It didn't rip off BattleTech. Um, it was so BattleTech ripped off Robotech and Macross, and then Exo Squad came out in the 90s, and Robotech allowed them. They only didn't get sued by BattleTech. They didn't get sued because BattleTech was fighting Harmony Gold. Well, that and the fact that Macross, the creators of Robotech Macross, were like, "Hey, you literally just one for one ripped off everything else." Plus, there was a tiny bit of daylight between the massive mechs and the E frames. The E frames were um, people sized for the most part. The Oh no, Exo Squad stole some designs from BattleTech, like the Mad Cat. But if I remember correctly, but the Mad Cat was stolen from Robotech. Because hold on, I'm trying to think. The Mad Cat was a loosely based off of Robotech. If I remember correctly. No, Mad Cat was an original. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought they were. Yeah, we'll do that one. Back. Okay. For some reason, I thought Mad Cat was an original. Was not an original design. I thought it was a Robotech design. You're like, what are you doing, buddy? Sleeping. Okay, we got that, that, and then these. Okay, all right, we're getting there. Now we gotta just do eyeballs. That's done. BattleTech was owned by FASA, if I remember correctly at the time, a small company. Fighting Harmony Gold over Robotech designs, which ended there's in some. We made a deal some 30 odd years later, so their war chest was running bare. Couldn't go after Exo Squad. Well, Exo Squad only had 2 seasons. It really wasn't popular to begin. As shitty as it was, it didn't gain popularity. Or sorry, not shitty. As tragic as it was, they didn't gain popularity. Exo Squad was not as popular as they thought it was going to be. But it was probably the first and only American anime that paid homage, not directly ripping off the source material. Oh man, whew. I am tired, but I want to really finish these heads. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're getting there. And then 17, 18, 19, 20. Yep. And then 21, 22. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, I'll be damned. We have just enough to finish these guys. Oh, I'll be damned. Oh, we're in the final stretch. Oh my God, I'm excited. Yeah, in the end, the issue was Macross designs were in legal limbo, so they finally settled. Topps Catalyst became the original creator, had the rights. New Dark Tide. I mean, yes. Oh yeah, the reveal is today. Hold on. Do they have an update? They don't. They don't yet. They don't yet. It's going to be Ratlings. Is that your prediction? Yeah, but it was a huge mess. I tell you it'll be Ratlings. Well, let's see. All right, and speaking of Warhammer games, Tides of Torment, it will arrive December 4th. LawTube was on fire following the case? Ah, I see. Did you see the latest Mr. E video? No, I did not. I need to play Vermintide. I need to get Vermintide 2 just to play rats in PvP. Vermintide's fun. It's a little clunkier than Darktide, but it's definitely fun. He received a troll video about a sniper and of short stature POV. Ah, I see, I see. Yeah, I don't follow Mr. E. I just. By the way, Quackamole, how have you been? I will say we will probably call it here in the next hour. Just because I am so close, but I also don't want to make mistakes while I'm painting. And then I got to move to eyeballs, and that like requires a lot of intense concentration. And like I said, I don't want to fuck that up. Oh, alright. Alright, cool. Ugh. I'm glad you're alright. But yeah, I have nerd too close to the sun. I have touched. I have lived too much, and I have drank. I drink Monster, and I know things. Ah, yes. I too drink Monster and know things. But I also drink my Monster with copious amounts of alcohol. Like, oh, I have some sake I need to have. You know what? I'll save that for New Year's. I'll save the rest of the sake for New Year's. You will see a very inebriated Commissar Hecht. Commissar Hecht is gonna go come pie. Send me some. I'll actually show you the sake bottle that I'll be drinking from, and the cup too. Probably one of my most interesting cups that I've got. So this is a traditional sake cup. Put my headset so you can actually hear me speak. So this is a traditional sake cup. This was a Christmas party gift from the 35th SFS, 35th Security Forces Squadron from Masawa. The Japanese character for me, and then the Japanese character for Sawa. So three rivers, basically. Um, and then I don't know exactly what this is in Japanese. It looks stylized. I just don't know what, and I don't know what these are too. I wish I did, but I don't. Uh, but yeah, this is the cup. I wish I could drink, but lithium toxicity is real. I'm also going to get some booze for New Year's. Do you have to take lithium pills? I'm so confused. We'll play Dark Tide and Helldivers while drunk. That's if I get off for New Year's. I'm taking Christmas off, but I don't think I'll be able to play on New Year's. But then this is the sake I'm also going to be drinking. It's very good. It's very good. I have half a bottle still of sake. Yeah, I grew into a psych case over the years, and I take lithium that keeps me stable. Oh, well, I'm glad that you got help. I'm sorry that you can't drink, but drinking as much as I enjoy drinking, I've seen a lot of people destroy their careers with alcohol, unfortunately. So I only drink on special occasions, the New Year's being one of them. Um, but yeah, so don't think that I expect everyone to drink with me while I am drinking. I don't do that kind of pressure. Hell, when someone says, "Oh, I can't drink," I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry. I wish you could, but there's a good reason why you can't drink, so I support you." You know, yeah. I would never ever demand anyone to drink with me, ever. I will offer, but if someone said no, especially if they're like, "Yeah, I'm a recovering alcoholic," I absolutely not. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, I even mentioned it to you. Um, yeah, I don't force people to drink if they can't drink. It's not me. But yeah, I am excited to drink out of this cup again. I'll be back. If you know Metatron from the movie Dogma, basically that's what it was like for me. Although I can imbibe a little bit, it'll make me sleepy very quickly. Yeah, I wouldn't. I, again, I don't force. If people have a legit, even if people, how do I want to phrase this? If someone tells me they don't drink, even if I don't internally believe it's a legitimate reason, it doesn't matter because if someone says I don't do X, all right, cool, you don't do X. The only time where I would ever push back on someone saying I don't do this for whatever reason is if it is dangerous or harmful to other people or harmful to themselves or um, uh, or it's misinformation or insert bad thing here. But if someone's like, yeah, I just don't drink. All right, cool, you don't drink. Forgive me for bringing it up. Yeah, you don't you're not. I don't. I'm not that kind of person that guilt trips somebody. No, no, no. You got to drink. You're being such a downer. Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not that guy. I am not that guy. I refuse to be that guy. I like to drink like low alcoholic drinks sometimes, fruit coolers whatsoever. I can handle one of those myself, but then I have to cut myself off. Yeah, but in my opinion, like if you're worried about something, just don't even involve yourself with it. Oh my god, another frickin' bot. Hold on, let me get rid of this guy. Another bot on kick. I don't need people to I don't need to pay for followers. I want my followers to be organic and I want them to actually like what I'm trying to do. I don't need to pay for followers. I don't need to follow another channel that all they do is pump conspiracy theories. No, thank you.
Oh no, I'm not worried about it. You misunderstand. I'm stating that I can't go 10 rounds with 10 rounds with Jose Cuero anymore. Uh, yeah, I used to be able to drink like a fucking fish, but ever since I like Fedor 6, I can't go 5 rounds in the first place. I used to be able to be a world class boozer. I was definitely that guy that could seriously go pound for pound when it came to drinks. Um, but then after like a few, not scares, after I saw what a lot of people ended up, um, what a lot of people, after I saw a lot of like negative consequences for a lot of people, I just stopped. I stopped drinking. Not entirely, but like I cut it back. So now, when I have that sake, probably I'll be good for the rest of the night because I'll feel nice, warm, and fuzzy, and that's where I keep it. Just like that's the notch. Just half past a tick. You're right in the slot. I'm t- I'm not drunk enough to not know what I'm doing, but drunk enough to not care. You know that kind of a line. Oh boy, I'm a lightweight. Now medicine makes me a featherweight. My doc said I not to deny myself, but be very responsible with it. Well, as long as you're following what your doctor's advice is, because I'm certainly not a medical practitioner. I know nothing of medicine. I basically know mouth to mouth and foot to chest. That's all. That's all I know. I know how to put on a tourniquet, and I know how to and I know how to keep most of the blood inside your body. That's about it. Quick reactive triage, quick reactive care. That's all I know. Treat for shock. Be a, be a combat lifesaver. Basically, I know that the red fluid stuff that looks like hydraulic fluid should stay in the body. Even though none of us were realistically ever going to see the front line. Well, actually, that's the one thing that I did that a lot of people forget. Security forces actually did see combat several times, actually. Um, uh, in 2012, there was the Battle of Bagram, where a bunch of Taliban insurgents had stolen army uniforms, attacked, I think it was Alpha Sector, blew up the checkpoint at Alpha Sector, infiltrated the base, um, and uh, the security forces personnel that were guarding Bravo Sector had to actually engage, um, Taliban forces and um, return fire and all that stuff. Um, During Iraq, I want to say it was like early 2003, 2004. It was security forces played pivotal roles in guarding Balad Air Base and returning fire from or providing counter battery fire or coordinates for counter battery fire against Iraqi insurgents with like fire and forget mortars and all that stuff. Um, they also guarded convoys. Buka, they had it wasn't like combat as in direct combat, but they had to suppress prison riots and all that stuff. Um, yeah, you guys got to be soldiers. I was gonna be the guy in the neighboring safe country at an air base to make sure the jets and the bombers were good to drop bombs on enemy combatants. Security forces was there too. I'm just saying that we actually there have in the amount of times the global war on terror, uh, you know, during the amount of times in the global war on terror, security forces did have to put lead down range. Um, so it was definitely a uh, there have been definitely moments where security forces had to engage an enemy combatant. Is it rare? Yes. Um, you could go your entire military career in security forces and not have to draw out your pistol on anybody, or have to, draw down your rifle on anybody. Um, but that doesn't mean that you can't or aren't expected to fight. Hell, it was during the Iraq and Afghanistan wars that we were embedded with OSI a lot of the times in order to do snatch and grabs of high value targets. So there was definitely outside of the wire missions. Again, few and far between, and 9 times out of 10, security forces would be standing guarding gates, or doing both ISART and ESART patrols in a secured area. Um, but security forces did put lead down range, and in Vietnam, because of Operation Safe Side and all that stuff, we were more active in defense during the Tet Offensive, during the time after and right before the Tet Offensive, where we were just trading rounds with the Viet Minh and Viet Cong. So security forces as a career field has definitely cut their teeth in combat. People don't like to talk about it, but it's definitely happened. Yeah, you guys get. Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, oh, oof, oof, oof. Tired. That's okay. We're getting there. All right. I'm just glad I got an easy assignment today. Got to go to a place, empty the trash, sweep and fill the time. Was done in less than 2 hours. Now I just got to sweep slowly for 6. Yeah, push broom duty is never fun. I mean, I'm glad you're shamming a little bit, but uh, you know, if they don't need you, sham away. It's like the last 2 3 days. I honestly, today kind of sucked with the migraines. I'm not gonna lie. That shit almost did me in. I had chores I had to do, and I don't know if the migraines. Sorry, I'm just resting my eyes for a little bit. I don't know if the migraines that I have are from the burn pits or from burn pit induced inhalation, because all three of my deployments have been next to either uh, an industrial incinerator or an actual burn pit, like no shit burn pit. Use JP8 fuel to burn like literally everything, right? Manas, they had an incinerator. Um, Djibouti, Africa, they had an incinerator. And then Qatar both had burn pits and an incinerator. Um, the burn pit portion wasn't on the base. It was right outside the base, and it was a burn pit that burned rubber tires. It was a literal tire fire, and you would get the nasty ass burnt plastic smoke coming in onto the installation because the wind would blow a certain way. But then the actual like burn pit area for Qatar was the industrial incinerator, and both in Djibouti and in Qatar, it just fucking reeked. Oh my god, it reeked. It was gross. I'm technically light duty, should be part time, but they're letting me work full time with my restrictions. My back is foobarred. Yeah, That's another thing. I'm pretty sure I've fucked up my back because I keep on wearing my ballistic plates. Now, obviously, you're supposed to wear your ballistic plates whenever you go to work, but I've been wearing ballistic plates for goddamn near almost 16 years now, and it shit hurts. That's why sometimes when you see me lean like that, it's just thing. So shaman is the name of the game at the moment. Like I said, hey, I'm not poo-pooing you for shamming. Sometimes you got to sham. Sometimes there are days where, there have been days where I'll be talking to airmen and they're like, "Boss, I'm not feeling good," or "Boss, I'm not like at my 100%." And I just tell them, I'm like, "Look, if you're not at your 100%, at least thank you for telling me. Thank you for being honest and telling me and having the integrity to tell me. But I'm not going to sit here and poo-poo you. If you're not at 100%, let's try and get you to 100%. And if you're not at 100% per day, well, give me what you think is 100% for the moment that you're not 100%. You know, and I've been given that grace before, and they give and as much as I have received that grace, I will give it back tenfold because I don't want to ever be a hypocrite, especially when someone's like really really hurting and they need to take a knee. That's That's the long and short of that. Like, you got me fucked up if I'm not going to take care of my people. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. I'm going to go get water because I am, like, getting super tired. I got 20 minutes left. Ah, yes, the elusive variable 100%. Well, okay, so I'll go get. Let me finish this thought. Then I'll go get water, and then I'll continue painting. So there is never a moment where I feel, particularly when it comes to like duty performance and everything like that, there is very little time where you are at 100%. Um, it could be something as in you didn't get enough sleep, right? Um, and but you're still showing up to work and you still want to do your job. Okay, you're not at 100% because you didn't get your sleep. So give me whatever you think you have in the tank for the day. Do your job, do it well, try and do it well. Give me what you can do. And if I can't let you go, uh, for whatever reason, right? Whether you didn't get enough sleep or whether you're not feeling great under the weather, whatever the case is, if I literally cannot let you go because the mission will quote unquote fail if I do, um, then I will make sure to get you on the back end. Um, but if you, but if I can get you off and the mission won't fail, um, then get some rest, right? That's me. So what's your prediction on the new Dark Tide class? Probably Hive Ganger. Um, you know, that would be my, yeah, my 100% is like 70-80 of my non-injured version of me. But that's what I'm saying, like, right? Like, if you're not feeling at your 100, fucking tell me or tell somebody, especially somebody that actually gives a shit about the troops. But yeah, my class prediction is probably a Hive Ganger because you have the uh, you have the Adeptus Arbites, and all throughout Darktide, they've said several times that the Hive Gangers are fighting the Cult of Admonition. They just happen to be losing a lot. Um, so if they were to pick me and all that stuff, I would want to go and advance a storyline off of Darktide with that class. That would be my guess. And I kind of want to see that shit too. Hive Gangers fighting Chaos Cultists and shit. That'd be kind of cool. But that's my take on it. All right. Oh man, I feel like I'm drifting. I just spaced out for a little bit. Okay. I think that's me telling me that I'm. I think that's my body telling me that I've had enough. Speaking of headaches, I think I'm developing them. We'll get some rest. Drink water. Get some rest. Um, yeah. I think I'm gonna call it here because I'm starting to drift and ramble. But anyway, we got 16 done. We only need 9 more, and then we've got all the heads, and then we just got to do 50 pairs of eyeballs. But that shouldn't take too long. I will have to work, so bye. Okay, all right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. My name is Commissar Hecht. I hope you all have enjoyed this particular live stream. If you haven't seen the Olenius Pius lore video, please do, and tell me if it sucks or if it's good, or and tell me what you want in the next lore video. Please, please, please. Because I kind of want to do lore videos, but I also don't want to make them shit. You know, I kind of want to talk about the lore organically. And have fun with it, right? But thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, please support the channel by either following me or subscribing or gifting me subscribers on Twitch, subscribing to me on YouTube, sharing all the videos on YouTube, and enjoying the content that I make. And then I've got Kick, I've got Facebook, I've got Instagram, I've got what's it called? Okay, Russ. Oh, thank you, man. I didn't see the Prime thing, dude. Thank you. I didn't see the Prime alert until just now. 10 months. Well, thank you very much for the 10 months, man. Holy crap. How come I didn't see that until just now? God damn it. I feel bad now. But anyway, thank you all for watching. No worries, mate. Deserved. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll definitely probably be doing Darktide now that the update's happening. And I'll talk to you guys later. Take care. And like I said, follow me on all my socials: Discord, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Kick, and Blue Sky. I'm on Blue Sky now. But anyway, thank you all for watching. My name is Commissar Hecht. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.